This is an interactive video session that will help you to improve the skill of critical engagement with societal and global issues.
Having this skill means that you are able to engage with both mainstream and alternative sources to develop a broader understanding of global and societal issues. Promote critical thinking and the exploration of new concepts within the course content, encouraging students to engage with diverse perspectives and challenging the tendency toward binary and uniform thinking. Organize debates on relevant global or societal issues to foster informed dialogue.
Definition of the skill: capacity for critical thinking, ability to independently evaluate diverse perspectives and make informed judgments, recognizing complex interrelations, and considering both local and global implications of actions and policies.
What is critical thinking? Critical thinking is the ability to interpret, evaluate, and analyze facts and information that are available to form a judgment or decide if something is right or wrong. Obviously, this competence is valuable for lecturers who need to be able to advocate their ideas and opinions and use them in their lectures.
What is ethnocentrism? Ethnocentrism refers to the tendency to view one's own cultural group, whether local, regional, national, or transnational, as superior or more normal than others. It involves interpreting and judging other cultures through the lens of one's own values, beliefs, and norms.
This overvaluation of one's own cultural background can lead to misunderstandings, prejudice, and exclusion of those who are perceived as different. In higher education, recognizing and challenging ethnocentric attitudes is essential for promoting intercultural understanding, equity, and respectful engagement with diversity.
The very concept of development, and the classification of countries along a scale from underdeveloped to developed, is highly reductive and reveals ethnocentric assumptions. This concept reflects a Western worldview that claims universal ambition, often imposing its own values, economic models, and social norms as benchmarks for all societies.
Such a perspective overlooks the diversity of historical trajectories, cultural values, and alternative forms of well-being present around the world. Recognizing this ethnocentrism is essential for educators seeking to foster critical thinking and a more pluralistic understanding of global realities.
Although it inevitably oversimplifies the complex reality of the world, the division between the global North and global South has proven to be less ethnocentric. This framework moves away from hierarchical and value-laden categorizations, instead highlighting geopolitical, economic, and historical dynamics without necessarily imposing a universal standard. There is the need to embrace critical framework of social transformation by breaking away from the normative assumptions and biases embedded in the concept of development, which is often viewed as a Western rhetoric of progress that reinforces hierarchical and reductionist views of the world.
The proposal is to develop and highlight multiple, interconnected ways of understanding the world, called pluriversal and interversal paths, that challenge the idea of a single, all-encompassing perspective from which concepts like universal and global are usually seen.
How do stereotypes, prejudice, and discrimination occur? Our attitudes towards others can be determined by three factors: the cognitive, which implies a belief; stereotypes, the affective, which implies emotions and feelings; prejudices, and the behavioral, implying concrete actions, discrimination.
The concept of stereotypes was first introduced in the 1920s by Walter Lippmann in his influential work Public Opinion. Lippmann described stereotypes as pictures in our heads, mental images that individuals create and apply to entire groups of people. These images act as filters or distortions, shaping how we perceive others and often standing between us and the complexity of reality.
Stereotypes are not neutral. They reflect biases and generalizations that can lead to misunderstandings, discrimination, and exclusion. In intercultural contexts, being aware of our own stereotypes, and actively questioning them, is essential for fostering respectful and authentic interactions.
Prejudices are unjustified and mostly negative attitudes towards others. Prejudices represent an affective dimension of our attitudes. They include emotions and feelings that can take the form of dislike, mistrust, fear, or even hatred, although more ambivalent and even positive prejudices can also exist.
The real problem with stereotypes and prejudices is their potential to influence our attitudes and behaviors toward other people. They can have very negative consequences such as discrimination, and unjustified and negative behavior towards members of groups based on their membership.
Schools represent a critical space when it comes to generating or reducing stereotypes and prejudices. They have the potential to trigger change in social norms and promote certain values and attitudes. However, developing strategies and pedagogical methods to overcome rather than reinforce social, ethnic, or cultural segregation takes considerable effort.
With the rise of social media and the great diversification of information sources, people have direct access to a large amount of unverified information and opinion. As a consequence, subjective comments and opinion are taken to be the truth and of equal, or greater, value than other more robust sources. Social media are indeed a perfect vehicle to spread and multiply prejudices and rumors.
What is an anti-rumor strategy? The program draws an anti-rumor strategy as a long-term process of social change. The anti-rumor strategy focuses on the way stereotypes and prejudice are created and above all on how to reduce them, or at least reduce their negative impact, in order to prevent discrimination, improve coexistence, and harness the potential of diversity by triggering a change in perceptions, attitudes, and behaviors among the general population and specific target groups.
In order to reach these global goals, the anti-rumors strategy focuses on 3 specific objectives: to engage and empower a wide range of stakeholders and citizens by implementing a local public policy and building a cooperative multi-level social platform within the framework of a long-term, anti-rumors city strategy; to promote critical thinking and raise awareness of the negative effects of stereotypes, prejudices, and false rumors by implementing innovative and participative actions to reduce them and challenging the negative narratives around diversity; to influence the political and social agenda so that reducing prejudices and preventing discrimination is recognized as a crucial collective goal for society as a whole.
In conclusion, this interactive session on critical engagement with societal and global issues shows how to critically question ethnocentric ideas, stereotypes, and prejudices while engaging diverse information sources to better understand complex global realities. It also presents tools like debates and anti-rumor strategies to challenge false narratives, reduce discrimination, and promote more just and inclusive societies.
Now we invite you to the quiz section where you can test your knowledge by answering 3 questions. Tick the correct answer. Whether you chose right or wrong, you will be given an explanation for the answer. Here we go.